The National Disaster Management Unit and other relevant government agencies have taken to address the current flood situation in Kirinyaga County, especially in Moya constituency and the Guku village in Dia constituency. Also, whether the cabinet secretary.
Members, as per the order paper, we were supposed to have 2 cabinet secretaries this morning. The Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration and the Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Petroleum, who was supposed to appear this morning to answer to questions from members. We have since received communication. Indeed, yesterday the SBC did take a position with regards to the communication from the Office of the CS Interior and National Administration that excused him, and this is the wording of the letter that was received. The Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration is not in a position to honor the invitation, and all inconveniences are highly regretted. And the second letter from the CS Energy and Petroleum is equally indicating, regrettably, we wish to request for your indulgence to postpone the meeting scheduled for Wednesday, 23rd October 2024 at 9:30 a.m. The CS will be away on official duty from 22nd to 24th of October 2024. Kindly reschedule the meeting to a later date of your convenience. Honorable members, these are the 2 communications from the 2 cabinet secretaries who are supposed to appear before us today, and therefore we will reschedule the appearances to a later date. The order paper had questions for the 2 cabinet secretaries. This question number 044 from the Senator for Siaya County, Dr. Oburu Odinga. Question 56 from Senator Shakila Abdallah. Question 90 from Senator Murgor. Question 70 from Senator Murango. Question 73 from Senator Murango as well. Question 77 from Senator Manzo. 79 from Senator Murango. 84 from Senator Kavindu. Running through to question 92 from Senator Kathuri, 93 from Senator Professor Tom Ojenda, question 94, Professor Tom Ojenda, 104, James Murango, 106, James Murango, 113, Senator Lomenen, and question 114 from Senator Hamida Kibwana. In the absence of the 2 CSS honorable members, we definitely will not belabor that bit. The questions are deferred to the next scheduled sitting that will be done by the SBC. And I'll, out of that, then call upon the clerk to call the next order. Yes, Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I couldn't agree more with your ruling, but I'm struck by the letter from the Ministry of Interior, and I would like to persuade the Senate that the reason why the Minister for Interior is not in a position, it is because in this House, the House found that the former Deputy President was impeachable and he was removed. And the statement from the chair, Mr. Speaker, sir, was that by dint of that motion, that moment, then Deputy President ceased being a Deputy President. This Parliament subsequently, Mr. Speaker, sir, appointed Professor Kindiki as the Deputy President of Kenya. So at the level of Parliament, the Deputy President of Kenya is Professor Kithure Kindiki. I want to appeal to the Secretariat that stop being superfluous by sending him invitation letters to come and respond on issues of interior. If you have got anything to ask him to come and speak on matters concerning the office of the Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. Sir, thank you very much.
I would like to defend the Secretariat because the letters of invitation to the CS were done prior to his appointment and also approval by the National Assembly. But I believe you have a point with regards to what the National Assembly and this House did in the course of last week. Yes, Senator Wambua.
You know, I have listened to Senator Alwada as a speaker. Let me just educate him a bit. Words have meaning. Where I sit, there is nobody who has been appointed in the position of Deputy President. There has only been a nomination pending. Chariot, I live in this world. I am in the same Senate with you. I will insist that words have meaning. Maybe where you come from in Kericho, appointment and nomination mean the same thing. In the English dictionary, they mean completely different things, but you can benefit from this if you will. Mr. Speaker, the matter that Senator Alwale is raising, we all know that it is a matter that is being canvassed elsewhere. We can go into that debate if that will be necessary. I don't think it will be. The most important thing, the Speaker, would have been for us then to ask ourselves, because over a period of time now, we have had questions listed for responses. In fact, if you remember, if my memory serves me right, last Wednesday, we had to adjourn the sittings because CSs that were expected did not turn up. Today, the previous Wednesday, today the same thing as happened to the Speaker. Maybe there will be need for proper communication, engagement between the office of the Speaker and maybe the office of the Majority Leader with the Cabinet Office. So, Mr. Speaker, the appearance by Cabinet Secretaries before this House to respond to questions is prioritized. So we don't have a situation where the Speaker, when senators have come here with questions, then we say we are not going to process that business because the CSCs have not appeared. The Speaker, I will continue with the English lessons for both Senator Alwale and Senator Cheruiyot after this session. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I'm seeing a lot of interest in having this conversation further. I will allow a few more members. Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Nafurahia sana kwa sababu tunajua tuko na Deputy President ambaye anaitwa Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Na nataka nifahamishe Senator wa Kitui, rafiki wangu ambaye anatarajia kuwa gavana wa mwaka wa 2027. Mpaka watu wa Kenya wajue ni ukweli, yeye ndiye mteule na angeweza kuja hapa kuongea kama ni waziri wa ulinzi. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme katika Kenya tuko na furaha.
Senator Mundigi.
Bwana Speaker, ni vizuri kusherehekea kwa sababu tuko na Deputy mpya President ambaye anaitwa Abraham Kindiki Kithure. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema wale wanajiita Mount Kenya West mpaka Mkumbali, tuko kwa serikali ya muungano. Atuko serikali ambaye ni ya chama hii ama ni ya hii. Tuko serikali ambaye ya muungano ambaye ni ya Kenya mzima. Tukiwa kaunti 47 mpaka Tukumbali ambaye yametokea. Sasa ile kitu tunasema ni mtuunge mkono ndio kutoka wakati yoyote tuweze kuhudhuria akiwa ameapishwa. Hiyo ndio tunangoja hakuna kitu kingine. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, mimi naunga mkono tuweze kukaribisha, tuweze siku ile tutamkaribisha. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator, well, Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, I just rose on Standing Order 103 to direct the House that it is a matter of public knowledge and notoriety that in fact the subject that is being brought to the floor of this House is a subject of court proceedings that are happening in front of the whole country. It will be highly prejudicial, Honorable Speaker, for us to engage in that debate at this particular moment in time. I think for the respect of the constitutional institutions that we have, because you will remember, Honorable Speaker, last week when this House was charged with that matter, the courts refused to intervene. I think we owe it to the other constitutional institutions to also give them the respect they deserve under the rules of sub judice, not to discuss those matters when they are live before them. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I have always laid this complaint on the table of Parliament. There is something called continuity of government. If you look at the matters that are in the order paper, those questions were not even filed last week. Some of those questions are as old as 6 months, a year. And it is very unfortunate that it takes that long for us to engage with cabinet secretaries, because one of the things that we have tried to do in this House is to stay current. There are many, many matters that are live right now, including matters in the energy docket. And I was expecting to see the cabinet secretary for energy here. At least in the Ministry of Interior, you can say maybe there was confusion as to who should appear this morning. But, Honorable Speaker, the excuse that has come from the Cabinet Secretary for Energy is an excuse that I will never accept before this House, because we have said that constitutionally you must prioritize appearance before this House. We as representatives of the people have a lot of questions to put across to the CS for Energy. Honorable Speaker, we have not had opportunity to have conversations about some of the things that are going on in the country, including the energy contracts that we hear are being signed in respect to that Adani company that has become now notorious. So these CSS, Honorable Speaker, we must every single time remind them that this House requires them to be here to answer questions relating to questions that are being raised by our constituents. And we need to stay live, we need to stay relevant, and you cannot come in 2026 to answer questions about Adani, and we are hearing that deals have already been concluded. So, Honorable Speaker, once again, I want to register my disappointment that cabinet secretaries are not taking these appearances seriously, and yet we have live matters for which our constituents demand that we ask questions. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. Now, honorable members, further reminder that, as well put by Senator Sifuna, these are matters which are live before the courts of law. And if you must comment, particularly with regard to non-appearance by the CS Interior, you be alive to the fact that this is something that is ongoing before a judicial body, and therefore you limit your comments to the extent permissible in the House. Senator Manzo was in court, so he knows what it means to have such matters discussed on the floor of the House when they are actively being dealt with by our courts of law. Senator, I'll give one more. Senator Mofire.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I agree with the sentiment of quite a number of us, including Senator Wambua, that the matter before us is being advanced elsewhere. And of course, Honorable Speaker, we are all aware as a House that CS Interior Gachagua has been very faithful to his duty. He has been appearing before this House before. He has been appearing in quite a number of committees. So, and I think because of this, what is happening now between, I think, the last few days, this is exactly why we have not been able to receive CS Interior in this House. But of course, I will also agree with Senator Sifuna, because we have so many other CS who are supposed to appear before us, including the CS Rones. I think I have some pending questions over that matter. So I think we must register some dissatisfaction over that, so that maybe we can compel these people to appear before this House. But this is an obligation, Honorable Speaker, that they are supposed to appear and answer questions related to what is contained in our question. So, Honorable Speaker, I think I agree with the other senators that CS Interior has been very faithful to summonses and the other to invitations in relevant committees and before this House. So I think now that the matter is being canvassed elsewhere, I also agree with your ruling that just leave it at that until when time allows us to discuss. Thank you.
Lastly, Senator Manzo, Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on this matter of appearances by CS, it is true some of these questions are very old. It is true matters are pending in court, and it is true that also other cabinet secretaries who have been invited and their situation has not been explained are not here. Mr. Speaker, there must be a way of making sure that this House is respected, that questions are answered. You know, I'm one of the people who had questions against Professor Kidiki, who is my friend. And my question is as old as 6 months ago in relation to the killings of demonstrators and abductions. But I know right now I may not get that done. We await the outcome of court in this case, but the rest of the cabinet secretaries, Mr. Speaker, should be here. And a stern warning must be sent that if you are going to fail to show up, you have to have a sufficient reason, which is a cabinet meeting or outside the country, and there must be notification to the House. Mr. Speaker, the House must be respected because we represent the counties, we represent the people of Kenya, and we are here on behalf of the people of Kenya who have employed these CSS. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Beatrice Ogola. You will be speaking next, so you will you'll make your comments after the next order is called out. And clerk, please call the next order.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Kenya delegation to the extraordinary session of the 6th Parliament of the Pan-African Parliament held at the Gallagher Convention Center, Midrand, South Africa from 20th to 27th March 2024. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 9th October 2024, morning sitting.
Now, honorable members, when the House last sat, Senator Beatrice Ogola was making her contributions to the motion, and you had a balance of 7 minutes to conclude on your contribution. You may, if you wish, continue to utilize the 7 minutes to conclude on your contributions on this motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to complete my submission as I was making them the last time. And Honorable Speaker, before I get to the motion, I also would have liked to add my voice to the previous debate and to state that we all expect as a Senate that cabinet secretaries as notified appear in the House, because as a House we are representatives of the people. I was looking forward to the appearance of the Energy CS because of the vast challenges my county and my sub-county and of course the whole of this nation are facing, especially that in my county, Honorable Speaker, we have